When Spain starts offering citizenships to the descendants of Jews they expelled in 1942, with this offer comes the question, where do we belong? Where do you guys think we belong? You know, in Psalms 126, we also read in the Berkat Hamazon that we're to go to the Negev, right? In Obadiah, in the book of Obadiah, we're to go to the Negev. We're to fill the cities of Jerusalem. We're to fill Israel. When we start, do we want to make the desert bloom with our presence? Do we, you know, I think there's a metaphor to that, and I'm sure, Bill, you know what it might lead to. One of the rabbis had told me a while back, the Anusim are going to usher in the Messianic era. We're here. We're returning. Many of us have returned several years ago. But where are we returning to? Where are we supposed to return to? If we're going to be a partner with Hashem, then what is our part? Do we stop here? Or are these places throughout the Southwest and South America, are they way stations for us to be able to return? And then return where? What's the final destination? You know? So how many of you have been to Israel? How many of you have not? How many of you would like to go to Israel? It's doable. We can do this. Where there's a will, there's a way. You know, how many of you get breaking Israel news and any Israeli newspaper online? Every week you're seeing articles like this where hundreds of Anusim worldwide, because we're not the only ones. You know, you have the Jews from India, from China, you know, from all over the planet that are returning. There are organizations all over that are doing this work online. They're sending baked-ins all over, you know, to return. I mean, Rabbi Melman and Rabbi Juan, you know, these guys have been doing this for, gosh, how long now? 10 years?
Something like that.
Yeah, and communities are wanting to go to Israel, is that correct?
Yeah.
Absolutely. When the government of Israel opens up 11 cities in less than a year, what does that tell you? Is Israel ready for us? Are we ready for Israel? You know, Israel's not an easy place to live, but it is our homeland. And I think that in the future, I really appreciated everything I heard here today, especially Rabbi Tarlow. You know, you're a realist, and you're in security. You know what's going on. And I think we need to be real. We need to start getting our passports. We need to start preparing, and we need to start applying. If anybody needs help, I can help you connect to Nefesh B'Nefesh. There are other organizations. They're probably more established and, you know, have a little bit more organization. I had to go to the office in LA. I think you guys here in El Paso would have to go to the Houston office. And no, it's LA?
Oh, for a passport you get it.
Yeah, but to apply for aliyah,
I don't know.
Rabbi,
It has to be Houston.
okay, because they're in Texas. So, you know, you can start calling the aliyah office. I'll tell you what you'll need. This is where Rabbi Leon comes in, and this is very important. He needs to do your letter. It's not a recommendation letter. Any converting rabbi that has converted you has got to do your letter. It has to be specific. He has a copy of mine, so he can sit down with you guys and do your letter. They want it a certain way. It can't just be a letter of recommendation. Then you have to get 2 letters from people inside of Israel that recommend you be a good candidate. That's the purpose for this pre-aliyah tour, is that I can introduce you to people there, you can stay with them, and they can write you a letter. And so you'll have your letters of recommendation there. The other thing is more and more rabbis, and Rabbi Shahim and I talked about this, more and more rabbis, Orthodox rabbis, are welcoming us back and are willing to absorb us into their communities, if that's what you want. The conservative movement has its own power in Israel. And I will say that when I did my interview in LA, my shliach there said, we recognize conservative, reform, and reconstructionists. And you just need that letter from your rabbi. It has to be very specific. It's different. So just make sure that you have a proper letter from whatever converting rabbi you have. So does anybody have any questions? Because I kind of left it open. And I want to ask another question. At the end of the Passover Seder, what do we say? Why do we say that? Come on, guys, I need dialogue. Why do we say that?
Because we started being Zionists the moment we left, we went to exile. That's and at the end of Yom Kippur as well. Twice a year we finish the most important moments in our liturgy as a community by saying, let's go. Okay, we've done this so many times. Now it's time to move on to our home.